folks are in behind us? I know we've had a few leave or two. Or anybody know? Well,
I think this is it.
In 1875, Crab Creek Post Office served the community. And this post office was likely near the site of this church, somewhere in this area. The post office closed in 1878, and Levada Hamilton was the first postmaster, followed by Sabrina Hamilton. Hamilton's a very old name in the Crab Creek community. Crab Creek Baptist Church was established in 1834 from Mud Creek Baptist Church. So what had happened, we had enough people here in this community, they wanted their own church and not have to ride the horse and wagon all the way to Mud Creek. The first church, a log church, was originally closer to Evans Road, not far from the site of today's McCrary Family Cemetery. You passed Evans Road coming down here. Now that's according to George Jones and some of the old timers. I'm not going to swear to it. But according to them, the original log church was over near the McCrary Cemetery. Now on the website, HendersonHeritage.com, I have a story on the McCrary Family Cemetery and this church and everything, so you can get on there and find out more. Services were held in a new meeting house in 1857, and based on the graves here and those church minutes, we think they started meeting right here at this location about 1857. But they were here in the community in 1834. All right. The early Crab Creek School was located on a knoll right across the road there. So it was right across the street here from the church. And those of you who took the class already, you know that all the early schools were tied in with the churches. So that was an early school. The present church building was built between 1985 and 1986 when they built this, and they've added on since then. The oldest marked grave in the cemetery is that of John Boone Huggins, who died in 1859. That's why I'm convinced those 1857 minutes meant they built here. There are 3 Confederate soldiers in the cemetery, but the most interesting is the story of Levi Jones. We can't explain his story, but we do know that Levi Jones was in the 60th North Carolina Infantry Regiment, Henderson Rangers, a Confederate regiment. But he deserted when he got sick, and he was in a hospital. So he deserted in 1862. He died September 11th, 1863, in Henderson County from a gunshot. Now, I know that. There are no Confederate military records on his death. All Confederate military records state that he deserted. That's all they ever knew. We know for a fact there were no Confederate units in this area rounding up deserters at the time of his death. They were not here. He was not killed by Confederate soldiers. He was not killed by Confederate recruiters. So it had nothing to do with the Confederacy, whoever killed him. Now I know that for a fact. Family records state that he was killed on Pinnacle Mountain. And written on his gravestone are the words, quote, on one of these gravestones, killed because he would not forsake the U.S. flag, unquote. Now that makes no sense to me. Who killed him? We don't know. Why they killed him? We don't know. It was not the Confederates that killed him. He was a Confederate deserter. He never joined the Union Army. So I have no idea what that quote on the back of his tombstone means. So that's a mystery. Joseph Jefferson Osteen is buried here. He was captured at Cumberland Gap and was at Camp Douglas, Chicago, till the end of the war. James Stepp IV was the 3rd Confederate veteran here. 5 men who joined the Union are here: James L. Evans, Solomon Jones, Elijah Osteen, William C. Raines. They all enlisted in the 2nd North Carolina Mounted Infantry in '83, and they were all Confederate deserters. John Boone Huggins enlisted in '83, but he was not a Confederate deserter. He's the only one. And which one? John Boone Huggins? October of 1863. and he was the only one that was not a Confederate deserter. The grave of Richard Bunyan Evans is also here. He served in the Philippine-American War. And the world's largest twins, Benny McCrary and Billy McCrary, are buried here. And there's a 13-foot wide memorial that is the record as the world's largest gravestone in this cemetery. The 3-ton granite monument was inscribed with 2 Honda mini bikes and the words, "World's Record Holders." So that's ours, and you walk through that cemetery for a few minutes, and then we're gonna, when you leave here, do not go right up that way. You want to go around that curve to the left. Everybody got that? And we're gonna turn right on Jeter Mountain Farm Road. I've got permission to use their drive. Randy Stepp's supposed to be up there waiting on us to unlock the gate, let us up, and we're gonna park on the gravel. Then we're gonna go eat.
Grandmother buried here. Jeremiah Mitchell King, J.M. King, and Justiny.
I've got some shipments from Solomon Jones. Started directing.
Their stones are right in this area somewhere. That's Jeremiah's second wife.
Are you related to Meredith? You related?
Yeah. Yeah.
They were coming back. Gertrude is Dolly and Meredith's daughter. She went to Charleston and went to work down there and married Gooley. And she and James McCall and his wife were going back to Charleston in 1943 during the war, and they got down to just beyond Columbia, and Jim was driving, and he lost control of the car, and it turned over. There were 8 of them in the car. These 4 people, Jim and his wife, and the 2 sons. The Goolies had a son, and Jim and Carrie had a son. And all of them were killed except the 2 boys.
How tragic.
They burned to death
Oh,
in the car.
James B. King. Did you know J.B.?
Well,
Meredith's son.
James was a son of Meredith
Right.
and Dolly.
As well as Meredith Jr. Now James is buried here as well, but I'm not sure where. I did not hear of his passing until it was too late.
J.B.
J.B., yeah, he's buried here as well.
I think he's buried. He lived in Michigan most of the time.
Right, but he's buried here.
Did
Yeah.
they bring him here?
Yeah, they did, and I hate that I missed that because J.B. and I had communicated quite a bit
Yeah.
early on when I was doing the research. He had really helped me a lot, and I wasn't even aware that he passed and missed his funeral.
Were you aware of the monument he had?
Yes, I got pictures of it for the Union soldiers over in Etowah. Yeah, quite a story there.
Now, is that Aunt Doll?
I'm sorry?
Is that Aunt Doll?
Yeah, that's Aunt Doll.
Aunt Doll, how about
Aunt
that?
Doll and Uncle Meredith.
Wait, Crab Creek? No, she ended up living in Hendersonville. Aunt Doll.
They live about 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
Now they named one of their daughters Dolly also. Is that not right? Didn't they have a daughter named Dolly?
I had somebody that my
I don't
mother
remember.
called Aunt Dolly, and she lived in there kind of where Charlie Mintz lived, kind of behind the log church, Faith Tabernacle,
Faith Tabernacle?
kind of back in there. And
Did Aunt Doll ever live around Faith Tabernacle?
No.
Now, when
She lived almost 100 years old.
Yeah,
But,
and
but she lived down there all her life.
Now that's another daughter of theirs, Lucy.
and she lived. She
Yeah,
ended up living.
Ruby's a daughter, and Lucy.
Lucy was a daughter. Yeah,
And
and I'm pretty sure there was a Dolly.
There was a.
Lacey, that's it. Lacey and Lucy. That's
Lucy
right.
and Lucy were twins.
Twins. That's right. That's
And they had
exactly
another-
right.
They had another set of twins.
Yeah, that's right. Dolly was the mother and not a daughter. That's
and
right.
Yeah.
Doll ended up living on 3rd Avenue East with her daughter, Thalia Sewell,
Really? My goodness.
until she died. Because she lived with Sharon.
Oh, did she live? And
After Meredith died,
he died, didn't he?
he died early, didn't he?
Yeah, he died from ruptured appendix back
That's
in
what-
1933.
You're right. I remember hearing that from
Now, Jerry and Justiny, my great-grandfather, blacksmith, is buried right over here. And I was just looking, I can't find a stone. It's right over here somewhere, close.
Well, we were
About the size of that one.
We were going to look at the McCall.
Okay, let's go find the great-grandfather and mother, Rebecca.
Now, Jerry's mother is buried right here.
No, that's Delano and Rose.
Okay.
This is
Uncle Delano.
this
Oh,
is
is that? Oh, okay.
That's your mother's brother, Delano. And that's F.B. That's
That's a John.
Frederick B.
Okay.
Oh, that's John. There's Rebecca. I'll get it right. This is Rebecca.
Okay.
This is Rebecca's
That's
step.
great-grandma.
And that's F.B. McCall. Frederick Bascom. That's the one I was named after.
Okay.
Oh, really? James was named after him as well. J.B. His middle name is Bascom.
Yeah,
That was his grandfather.
My name is the same, Frederick.
J.B. King, that was in Michigan. James Bascom
Oh, no.
King.
Frederick.
Okay. That was Coop
I
McDowell.
was named directly after him, Frederick Bascom. And
See, I'm related to J.B. through the McCall family and the King family. Yeah.
our mothers were sisters.
Okay.
JB's mother was my mother's sister.
Your mother's sister.
We were
Wow.
both McCall.
Now, old man Jerry King, the blacksmith, this was his mother, Margaret King, Elizabeth Margaret King. She was married to Jeremiah King, but he's buried up off of Evans Road over here, back in the woods in the old McCrary Cemetery, I suspect next to his first wife, who was Nancy Irwin,
And
but
Uncle
probably only a stone.
Uncle Bubba and Aunt Mary and Aunt Ellen
Okay.
married over here. I think this is
Is Alf McCall buried over here?
Alf McCall.
Alfred?
Yeah, probably. No,
I would think.
don't know where he is. No, that's Uncle Beaver, Thomas McCall.
Oh my stars.
Let's see where.
They're all here,
Yeah.
except Sudie and Tom.
This is Ellen and Ellen
Okay.
and Tane.
18.
This is first daughter.
Okay.
This is Shipman. She died
How do they figure
in 1903. And this is her. That's the son. Her son that was died during childbirth. Both of them died
Oh,
in
okay.
1903. And
From childbirth.
That's Fanny.
Okay.
That's the mother's step, and Uncle Bubby. That's Thomas.
Okay.
And Mary, who worked for Dr. Howe. He's the one.
Okay.
She's the one that worked for Dr. Howe,
And took care of Bailey.
yeah.
She and Aunt Tank.
Yeah, Louise and Jennie.
And
Is Jennie still living?
old Doc took care of Mary the rest of her life,
Really?
provided for her, and for Ellen and Bub the rest of his life.
Yeah, as long as he lived, he looked after
He took care of them,
After,
those people.
Aunt Tank and Uncle Bubby.
Is Jennie still living? Louise's sister.
Oh yeah, she turned 100 on the 21st.
Oh
She
my
used to write
Joe-
about her
Joe-
getting on the riding mower and mowing her
Yeah,
grass
oh,
at
yeah.
80-something
Wow.
years old.
Well, she's up in Virginia.
Uncle Lewis said that the reason Jerry King and Justin, they want to be buried right there.
Well, how nice.
They want to be facing Mount Olive where they live.
Louise was rather statuesque, very light, but Jennie's
Oh,
Guess they-
as if it'd make any difference, right?
They could have been buried on top of Mount Olivet.
Well, they could have easily been, but this is where they wanted to be. This is such a pretty place.
It is a pretty place.
I think this is one of the prettiest cemeteries in all of
It
Henderson
is.
County.
It
But you know,
is.
Henderson County's got a lot of pretty
Yeah,
cemeteries.
they have. They got a lot of pretty places.
Yep.
And that's the. I was telling you about the family down there that died in the automobile accident. Those are the other two. Jim McCall and his wife, Carrie Older, died in
My
that
favorite
too.
sister story was the time that Louise,
I guess they're all headed up to the Patterson
and of course
Osteen Cemetery.
but Louise's column, I don't know if you
They got the same death date as the people down there.
and at the time I think well, let's Louise how she get up there while you go at her. And said, well, she said, but I was just on the lower branches as I was sawing, and Louise said, well, I hope you quit on the right side of the branch. Did you hear her say that? Oh, Lord. Well, you know, there was this little
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She had her dog.
Well, shame on me. I can't place exactly where Jerry Mitchell and Justin's headstone is. I know it's very close here. But I've got to go.